With the announcement of a new trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds coming out on the opening night of Gamescom and the first ever in-game playable demo, which I am so fucking hyped for, safe to say now is a great time to try to figure out some pieces, put them together, and try to figure out a timeline for when we could see a release date for Monster Hunter Wilds. So, what I'm going to be showing you today is a lot of informed information and guesses, and take it all with a little bit of salt, but here's what I think our release schedule will look like for Monster Hunter Wilds. So, first up, let's go over the information we know about Wilds. August at Gamescom, there will be a new trailer in the first ever playable for demo for Wilds. That is all the information we have. That is literally it. That's all we got. But if we use a lot of information from the previous games, we can figure out a lot of stuff. For example, going back to 2019 with Iceborne. So, at E3 2019, which I went to, if I can find a picture of that, it will be up here. But if not, just imagine a small child holding a giant hammer in front of a giant statue of Volcana. But E3 2019 happened between June 11th and June 13th. That is where the Iceborne demo was playable for the first time. Later, the exact same playable build was available online on June 21st to the 23rd, if you had PS Plus. If you didn't have PS Plus, then it was available the weekend afterwards. Now, something important to note here is the fact that the online demo released a week after the event at E3 2019. Another important thing is that the weapon trailers all released simultaneously on June 3rd, before the E3 in-person demo was available, about a week before. Now, that's something I want you to keep in mind. That's a big theme here. We then go to the final trailer for Monster World Iceborne, which premiered on August 20th. And the second demo, which included the flagship Volcana, lasted from September 1st for PlayStation to the 4th for Xbox. And then the release of Iceborne was on September 6th. So, 2 months after first demo, we get second demo, and then about a week-ish later, release. So, going down to Rise now. So, the first demo for Rise released on January 7th of 2021, and a few weeks before, from December 13th to 21st, is when the weapon trailers started showing off the new moves for Rise. So, about a week-ish, a week and a half to 2 weeks before the first demo, we got our weapon trailers. Once again, seeing a theme here. On March 21st of 2021, the second demo released, which included Magnum Malo, and only a few days later on March 26th, Monster Hunter Rise dropped. Okay, our last example is that Sunbreak also, which was a bit of a different story, as it only had one demo instead of the normal 2 that we had. But it still had a lot of patterns that we have seen previously in the other games. For example, the first demo released on June 14th of 2022, with the game later fully dropping on June 30th of 2022. Now, just as to be expected, with previous titles, the weapon trailers dropped before the demo. These trailers started with Sword and Shield first on May 16th of 2022 and ended with Dual Blades on May 25th, which is a little less than 3 weeks before the first demo, and last demo technically. So, with that all being in mind, what does this all mean, and how does this fit into the dates that we already have confirmed, and what do I think is a general guesstimate timeline for release windows? Well, with the first playable demo being available at Gamescom from August 21st to August 25th, I believe that we'll be getting weapon trailers in late July to early August. I don't think they'll release them all at one time. I think they'll do it how they did before, where it was a weapon a day showing off throughout a time period, which is 14 weapons, 2 weeks, perfect to start at late July. It'll end around early August, so about a week before the 21st, and it'll be perfect. Another thing I want to point out about that is that we've had no confirmation of new weapons. We know that for a fact it's been confirmed that all 14 weapon types are returning, but let's say hypothetically that a new weapon does get showcased, let's say in the next trailer that may or may not be dropping next month. We don't know any news about that, but if a trailer does drop and shows off the new weapons, that once again gives them time to kind of showcase the weapon and talk about it a little more. But I don't think new weapons will be coming to Rise, sadly. We are also getting a new trailer at Gamescom, which nothing about that has been confirmed. We don't know if we're getting a new monster, if it's just pure story, nothing. But what could be interesting is at that trailer, we could possibly get an announcement or a release window for the online demo, which I believe will take place in either the middle or late September, or possibly even early October. So about, like, you know, a weekish to 2 weeks to maybe even more past the game event, we'll get a demo. So, with the information that we have gathered from the previous games, we can also guess that the second demo will with the flagship included, would have to be sometime around November or December. Once again, that 2-month delay between the first demo and the second demo is very prevalent, and this also lines up really well. November, December are the end of the year, you know, people see you all play the demo a lot. It's just a really good timing. And also, if we consider that whenever the second demo becomes playable, the full release isn't far away. So if we go by the Sunbreaks release of, you know, the demo coming out and then about 3-ish to 2-ish weeks later it coming out, if we get a middle of December or end of December demo, even early November, or sorry, late November either, and a couple weeks later is the release of the game, I would predict that we could see Monster Hunter Wilds coming out on the first month of 2025. Straight up, as soon as possible, first month. Now, is any of this confirmed, or is any of this could be possibly true? No, of course not. I'm just a random guy who loves Monster Hunter and started with 4 Ultimate, just throwing shit at the fan and seeing what sticks, okay? That's not the phrasing at all, I don't think, actually. Throwing the shit at the fan, see what sticks, that's... nothing would stick to that. That's my guess, but remember, that's just a theory. I'm not doing the whole thing. Also, if I get this perfectly right, like my time framing completely correct, I will be requiring a ticket from Capcom that says I can choose any monster put into the next game, and it will be Valstrax. Also, here's my schizo ramblings that I wrote down. I think I might have an obsession. Yeah.